Thank you very much, Honorable Foon. You have made mention of certain things. I think I will start with how you started your conversation. Because when you said we the councillors of Janjambure are used to that, here it is not clear that whether you people are used to that kind of behavior or you are used to what has been happening. You know, politicians, let me just come in. I will give you the floor. It's not a matter of argument. We are just here to dialogue and make sure that we go back to the same umbrella and work as family. Politicians in general, we cannot stop people from talking. I would have been very happy if I'm even insulted by the people of Nyani or any other area than to be insulted by my fellow honorable member, if we actually mean that we are all honorable members. And based on your statement that is said here, what actually happened is that the institution, some comments were made, which I will reserve until after the councillor for Jaring, then I will come up with those statements. Can we now hear the councillor from Jaring Ward?
Okay. Good afternoon to you all. Thank you, Honorable Kia, for giving me the floor. First, I would start with apologizing to each and every member of the National Assembly, more especially the committee members of the Select Committee that came to Janjambure the last time. Okay, I have heard all the previous speakers, and I heard them with mind. And one thing, debating in mind, that is it was said by one of the speakers here. After all the, visiting of the councils that you made, you need to give out a report. So in giving that report, Janjambure will not be excluded. Understand? So based on your experience, as you said, that you've witnessed in Janjambure, that might not be comfortable enough in writing that report. And as politicians, we all know we need legacy. You understand? Even if I'm not to do much for my people, but I do not need to be painted black. You understand? There should be, nothing, that should be wrong, that I should commit for the people of Janjambure. That will cause maybe, an implication of writing a bad report about Janjambure Area Council. You understand? This, when I heard one of the speakers who mentioned this, I am really not comfortable. Understand? And by looking at the people here, I can see that we are all, at our youthful age. And all that we need is to be giving support to one another. And these have been mentioned by, some of the speakers here, that we are not enemies to one another. All what you aim is, for us to collaborate and to make sure that, what the councils are expecting to, at least have that in their expectations. That is to be moving forward and also to be able to, get some benefits like others were saying. So on that note, for me personally, I cannot, speak longer. All that I need from you is to, apologize and I need that apology to be accepted. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you very much. Apology will be accepted. This is all what it called for. When there is an issue, we come back and discuss it as a family. After all, then bygone can be bygone and we proceed on whatsoever that we are to do. But before we move to questions from the members, just in response to what you were saying, Honorable Foon, on records, normally when we are doing our oversight functions, we are with our clerks, and these clerks are the ones taking the minutes of whatsoever that we are to discuss. That is why we deem it necessary that before we release the report, let's sit down and discuss as a family and forget about whatever happened in the past. It was from your statement that you made mention of other National Assembly members who visited your institution, who visited the council, but still now no improvement is done. Up to an extent of making mention of it's a failed institution, it is a failed National Assembly. It's on records and the audios are with us. If you want, we can share it with you. It was based on that our clerk stood and gave response. Then from there, the confrontation started. But we are not here today to argue. What is wrong can never be correct. Let's see how best we can guide ourselves, use the principles that are guiding our institution, and work by that and have a very clean record at the end of the day. That is why I said, when he said, we the people of Janjambure are used to that. It can be in two quotation marks. If you look at the grammatical context here, it can mean that it has been happening in Janjambure, but it is no longer going to happen again. That is why sometimes when people said, I used to play football, I said, then it means you are no longer playing football. Used to means that it is a habitual thing that has been happening in the past, but now it is no longer going to happen. But all what we are yearning for is how to put our political difference aside and yearn for the development of the country and yearn for the development of the council. I always tell people, when it comes to council, we are not going to joke with it. This is taxpayers' money, and taxpayers' money must be respected, and there is a percentage, 60%, if I am right, 60% is going back to the community. We are there to oversee, performing our oversight functions to see how are you people managing that 60%, responding or giving it to the public. This taxpayers' money is what they are using to pay you. It's what they are using to pay me. It's what we are using to pay any other civil servants here. We don't have any machine where we cultivate money or whatsoever. But as long as the Gambian citizens are concerned, and as long as in respect to responding to the grassroots level, we must go around and perform our oversight functions. It is never a witch hunt, but it is a support visit, and I will appeal and advise the Council of Janjambure, whenever they see people in their area, let them make basis of it and explain that these are some of the problems, these are some of the issues that we are having, and we want to join hand with you people and see how best we can solve this particular problem. So now we move to questions from the members. Any member who have a question to ask, you are welcome. Yes, Honorable Jame.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I might not really pose a question, but then I would like to make a contribution because the issue in hand, I want to believe that I'm equally directly affected, knowing fully that I come from that particular local government area. And apart from coming from that local government area, I think I have a direct representative who is also involved in the uphold so. And moving forward, I also want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank the Chief Executive Officer of Janjanbureh Area Council and the entire management. I also want to seize the same opportunity to thank the two honorable members who are here with us today in order to have that avenue for dialogue and better understanding. However, what I just want to say here is it seems we all have the same common goal. The same common goal in a sense, if you look at the composition of the area councils, more especially our elected members, you also look at the composition of the National Assembly and our functions. There is a lot that we cannot do as elected National Assembly members without the support of the LGAs, more especially with the elected councillors. So therefore, what I want to say here is I think this is something that we can really avoid from the first place, like having confrontations in between us. Yes, it is true that as politicians, we need to have a thick skin, more especially when we are being criticized. But in this situation, I don't think the attacks were more of directed to an individual, but then to a whole institution. And listening carefully from both sides of the story, I think the elected councillors, the concept they kind of preconceive is select committees have been going to that area council without really seeing that much more improvement to the council and the people of that area. But again, I think that challenge should go back to them, because the reason why they are elected as councillors is actually to represent the people of that particular area. And if there are lapses around, development issues, for example, I heard them talking about the salaries. Yes, we might have the powers to actually approve budgets, but we are not given the powers to formulate or to make drafts on budgets. And if in case, as a council, we think we are being underpaid, I think it will be of great importance for the elected members and the chief executive member and its staffs to actually come together and see where that gap can be filled. And in filling it, I think it should emerge from how do we actually formulate, or as to how do we actually come up with some of the drafts on our budgets. If that is not done from the onset and budgets are approved and you still want to sit back there and think you are underpaid, I think the blame game would be of continuity. Also, as a native of Central River Region and as a native of Janjanbureh Island, I believe we are known for hospitality. And if really this select committee happened to visit Janjanbureh as a community and the encounter was really not pleasant, I equally want to join my colleagues to sincerely apologize for the unfortunate incident that had actually happened. Sometimes, there are incidents or there are unfortunate scenarios that would actually emerge that we cannot really have control over. But then I believe hearing from them, such trend will not continue. I believe they would also do all that they can to actually address, to actually desist from some of these unfortunate issues. Also, I think this one might go to the Chief Executive Officer. It will be indeed very, very important for the Council and the Select Committee on Local Government to work together to see where the National Assembly can support on issues that are affecting Janjanbureh Area Council. Certainly, I can really raise my voice high. Prior to your coming, Mr. CEO, to that area council, I have been a key critic to Janjanbureh Area Council. And my reasons are always there to back myself. That is to say, even looking at the FPAC that the area council would face on an annual basis, they are always referred back to go and get their records right. And for me, I think the priority of Janjanbureh Area Council or the councillors should be as to how they could actually regularize their finances, their expenditures, and also ensure that the taxpayers are actually receiving a greater percentage of that. I wish the vice chairperson was here. I have been on his neck nearly for a year or two to inform him that the women at Janjanbureh Market are without a toilet facility, a proper one, a running toilet facility, and they have been paying taxes for the past years. And you know, I would rather expect for us to come together and see how do we address those basic needs of our people rather than fighting amongst ourselves. And I believe this select committee could actually be of help in such circumstances. So therefore, once again, I want to seize this opportunity to thank you all and also to sincerely apologize for what had happened, because I was never comfortable when my colleagues came back and said to me, oh, your community was just, it was just a horrible experience for us, knowing Janjanbureh is known for its hospitality, and then I don't think we can really lost that aspect of, you know, the way we live amicably. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jamme, a member for Janjanbureh.
Just to add on to that, we were there not long ago. The receipt was very, very well. You are treated very good.
He's a fool, I don't mind him. Yeah, Honorable Njai, just give me time. Our colleagues want to take a leave, and we definitely thank you people, and we are happy that you stay with us for this long, and you are welcome to the Gambia once more again. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, can we proceed, Honorable Njai?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for giving me the floor. Actually, since we are on question and answer session, and I have already deliberated on things earlier on, I just have an observation. First of all, before that is Honorable Fun, I have a slight observation as pertaining to your comment, I would say. But first of all, before that, I just want to, Honorable Member for Jureng Ward, I just want to, Jareng Ward, sorry, my apologies. Honorable Member for Jareng Ward, I just want to say that your speech was well put, and that it's really appreciative, and that this is what we expect from each other, because we are, like I said before, we are all human beings, and we are prone to err. That's like it might be you today, tomorrow it might be me. So we are all prone to make mistakes, and just to say that you know, we are very much appreciative of the speech. It was short, but it was precise, succinct, and it was well received, I would say. And I'm sure, I don't want to speak on behalf of the entire community since we have a chair, but be rest assured that these things will really not be highlighted in black and white. And we all, as young people, as you made mention, we will do our level best. And that's what we want as well, to make sure that this generation of young people really, you know, will be able to be given opportunities to at least even, you know, fire for higher heights, because we want, even you are councillor now, we would like to see you become a parliamentarian in the near future. So we wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that, to make that very clear. And coming to Mr. Foon, I think the English language is very delicate. And I just have an observation as pertaining to your speech. Yes, you did apologize, but I think you had a little bit of reservations pertaining to what I hear from your speech, because you used the word "if." That is, if I did anything that is of, you know, sentimental or anything, then I apologize. Which means there's a certain bit of reservation in the speech, meaning that you still haven't really admitted that you know, you made a mistake. You haven't admitted that. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, because you made mention that you are a gentleman, which we know you are, and everything, and like, we do not want to go to the specifics exactly as to exactly what happened that day, because there are even certain things that we haven't even said here, which really are, quite unpleasant, I would say, from your end. That's the reality, and we haven't even uttered it here. We're just trying to be as professional as possible. So the fact that within your speech you haven't really admitted that you are faulty in a certain way, really I have a problem with that, and I would like you to reiterate exactly, for us to understand fully that you have really admitted to being I would say a bit sentimental or temperamental towards your approach. We just want clarity here to make sure we are all on the same page. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Njai. I now give the floor to Honorable Baje.
Thank you so very much. We are still looking at Mr. Foon and his statement when it comes to the contextual meaning of what he said. He said they are used to it. Who are not used to that approach is the National Assembly members. They are used to it. They have been attacked time and again. Who are not been attacked are the National Assembly members, according to him. We are used to it that people attack us at times, time and again. Then he is doubting our competency. He is doubting our presence. He is doubting our professional behavior in that sense. In all the senses, to be very honest with you. And this is an act that have been done, and the act, it is a contempt of the National Assembly, which we want to compromise. But as much as we want to compromise, he must be on a concrete ground to know that this is the National Assembly members, and they deserve the utmost respect. The powers of the High Court is vested in them. I want us to come to a common understanding here. Whatever you said, it can be interpreted in different ways, but you must come out plainly and tell us what you mean and what you want to tell us. Whether you want to apologize or you want to have that conceived mind against us, or we have wrong you in what and so on and so forth. To be very honest, you cannot bring the behavior of the people to the National Assembly. You cannot behave like the other bad people behave towards you, towards the National Assembly. As they reiterated, this is an organ that can support you, and the committee is a supporting committee to you. As much as you are giving the public fund, you must be accounted for it. The fund belongs to the public. If not the public fund, you will not see the National Assembly members coming to you. So I want you to tell us what you mean by we are used to it. I have a concern in that statement. And if that should be withdrawn, let it be withdrawn. Chair, I rest.
Okay, can we have Honorable Gashama before? Oh, no.
I think the concerns that have been uttered by the different members have to be addressed first in hand by Honorable Foon before we proceed.
Honorable Gassama, do you have the same concern to this one? Okay, then Foon, can you respond to that, please?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Honorable Chair, and the honorable members here. Maybe my statement was misunderstood, but I do not mean to disrespect you in any way. And I have the utmost respect for any of you, or any Gambian in this country, or anybody residing in this country. As far as human being is concerned, I have respect for everybody. And I will never, even outside the National Assembly, I will never disrespect a National Assembly member. And to come back to this, the question of the chairman, that is the audio that you said, that I made a statement in Janjambure saying that the National Assembly is a failed institution. That statement was not from me. Everybody is here. It wasn't, I will not say that it has not been said, but not from me. I have never made any such statement. I have said all what I'm supposed to say in that meeting. And basically what I did talk much about was about my community. The only thing that I spoke about the National Assembly or the Select Committee was many times, from our experience, many times the National Assembly members has been coming to our council and we have been raising our concerns and challenges to them, but nothing positive is coming out from it. That was what I said in our meeting. And then when I sat down, then the Honorable Member for Jarang stood up. So it was during his statement, a lady stood up from behind and said, Janjanbureh Area Council, why are you always like this? Especially you, Mr. Foon. When I was not the one talking, I was sitting down. That's why I said that was defamatory. And nobody condemned that. It's still not a problem to me. And what I mean by we are used to that, it has nothing to do with you. What I actually mean is, as the councillors, we are living with our people. And anytime they will come to our face and tell us, you are incompetent, you are failed institutions. So, but that does not necessarily mean we can sit in front of you and tell you such things. And I want to assure you that no such thing will ever come from my mouth to you, to any of the National Assembly members. I have that high respect for human beings. So maybe one can preconceive me like, you know, the one who stood up and said that such a statement about me, that we are used to that. And I want references for that. Select committees were there. We only talk to them about our challenges, our problems. I have never, for me personally, I have never got problem with anybody among the select committees. I remember the last chairman was Amul Nyas. Yes, I do have problem with the then administration. That is internal, that is Janjanbureh Area Council. And all those problems, I brought it to the select committee. So, I mean, I don't see nowhere that I have committed crime. But then, I know after a defamatory statement was made about me, I made some statements that were not pleasant to that individual, and I'm willing to apologize for that. And I did. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't hold any grudges. No, that is not part of my work. I can have problem with you today, but that doesn't necessarily mean we will not work when the time comes for work. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that statement. Do you have any other member who may wish to take the floor? Yes, Honorable Gassama.
Thank you very much.
Why is it that the vice chair is not in your midst? You said he has traveled to Senegal. I want to ask you this question. Was there any consultation with him well before you departed from Makati to here? That is whether you share the same sentiments on the issue at hand. Because if there was no consultation between you and the vice chair, that means still the problem that we had with him, the problem will of course continue to exist. And we are here to talk about the problem, solve it, or talk about the problem, come to an amicable solution to it, so that we can bury it under the carpet. But if there was no consultation between you people and the vice chair of your council, still I would say the problem will of course continue to persist. And that's not the reason why we are here. So my question to you is, was there any consultation between you people, most especially the CEO, and two of you, the two councillors? Was there any consultation between you and the vice chair prior to his departure to Senegal? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The chairperson of this very important committee, and also all the honorable members of this committee. To be frank, we are very proud of you people to be people representing our own taxpayers. We also have to thank you because some incidents happen in Janjanbureh which we deeply regretted as an institution. But through your experience and through your professionalism, I think the situation was handled as expected. We really have to thank you. There is a saying in Wolof that boñ at gémmeñ ñoo nekka waaye léegi boñi matta làmmeñ bi. We are working together as country developers, as people who want to move the country. So I think sometimes we'll have some disagreements, but it's always good to have some agreements also. Just to tell you, this is my first experience of such situations. Though I look young, but I've been serving for 29 years in the local government fraternity. I've served in so many councils in the country. And I think wherever I am posted, I make sure I have some legacies. And I make sure I put something on the plate for the taxpayers of those areas will benefit from. Yeah, just to tell you that Janjanbureh Area Council, as I told you the last time, needs some help. Janjanbureh Area Council for the past 3 years, before I take over office in Janjanbureh, it was one of the most critical councils. Jato can attest to that. Things were not in place. The institution was not moving. So the honorable councillors were frustrated. Sometimes we don't have to blame them because we know they are politicians. The only aim and objectives that a politician have is what will move his people forward. Being a National Assembly member, being a councillor, or any other political position. The only aim you have is what will improve the lives of your people. That day was a misfortune, we know, but even yesterday, Mr. Gassama, we had a special council meeting concerning this issue. Just to inform you. A special council meeting whereby all councillors were invited to discuss about this issue. So it was an issue that we really regretted. That's why we convened a meeting yesterday, whereby the chief rep was tasked to address the meeting, so that when we come here, we will know exactly what we will do. So I will not bore you with words. Mr. Jado talked about the market toilet at Janjanbureh, and I think Fatu can attest to that. It was an issue during the last select committee. But let me tell you, today when you go there, you will not recognize that toilet. Definitely. It's been renovated up to standard. We have brought water supplies there, and we also have some dustbins in the market. The doors of the markets are all fixed. I think whenever you go there, you can have a visit and see the improvements that we have done there. Janjanbureh Area Council is very vulnerable. We need assistance from you people. We are different from other councils. You're talking about Janjanbureh Area Council, you're also talking about Kuntaur Area Council, where your chairman comes from. I work in all these councils, but they are the most vulnerable. Presently, councils, small councils like those councils are facing challenges because even this 30% increment on salaries is giving us sleepless nights because to be paying it at the end of the month is becoming a problem. And we are tasked to, give back the 60% to the taxpayers. How are you going to do that? Even that is affecting our reports during the FPAC committee meetings. Councils should be taken differently with other institutions. Councils are revenue hunting institutions. We are not subvented. What we normally do is to go and hunt for revenues. Now we have seen the businesses are going down. People who were having 3 shops now are having only 1 shop. Those are problems in councils, especially in Janjanbureh area councils. As I told you before, the revenue earning areas are there. Tapping it is the question now. How are we going to tap those revenue earning areas for the taxpayers? I took an example of the bridge at Janjanbureh, where people are paying the bridge for free, when at least vehicles can be paying $5 or $10 when crossing. Those revenue earning areas can boost the revenue of such small councils. So, to be frank, definitely we need help. On that note, on behalf of the people of Janjanbureh, on behalf of the people of the local government area of Janjanbureh, we really regretted the actions that was done during our last meeting, and we definitely apologize. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What was the question again? Sorry, about vice. Yeah, he was consulted. By then, the Fatu called me and informed me. By then, that was the day he was to leave for, Dakar. Yeah, he is there with Tostan International on a 10-day training. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO, for that brilliant statement. You have made mention of very important things. And looking at the 2 councils, as you said, I'm from that area, and I know that those 2 councils have no further source of revenue. Looking at the lumos attached to that area and so on, those are only areas that they feel that they can go there and tap funds and so on, which definitely will give us the chance to work together and see what we can do in order to improve those councils. And Honorable Foon, you made mention of the reference, that you need the reference for the audio and so on. It can be provided if you wish for us to continue, in which we can select another date where you will come back to Parliament and the audio will be traced, played in your presence, and we discuss that. If you still wish to go ahead, then we can go ahead with that. What are you referring to actually? You made mention of what you said, maybe you are misquoted and so on, and you want to get reference and so on. So that is why I am saying, if you have all the right to request it for the reference, and if you wish to do so, it means that you will be given another independent date different from today for you to come back and for us to discuss on that. And because your vice chair will be appearing to this August assembly, to this committee, as soon as he is in Janjanbureh. Anyway, sorry, this is not coming. All right. I'm confused here, but as for that meeting ground, that word did not actually come from me. It did not come from me. No. I was even part of people who were asking the honorable member to withdraw that statement. Clearly, and everybody can attest to that. I was part of the people who were asking him to withdraw that statement. So if I come here today and people are saying I'm the very one who said that,
I'm confused, definitely. That one I am
So will you wish for us to go ahead and get you the reference, or will you wish for us to?
Yeah,
Because if that is to so, we have to give you another independent date for you to come back to this place.
Maybe even if I say, but not in that meeting ground. It wasn't from me. The CEO is here, everybody is here.
So what will you wish? To come back for another date, so we can fix a date for you before we leave.
It's okay, yes, I would, I'm okay with it.
Sise?
Yes. Yes, this one. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for giving me the floor. Once again, I want to say good afternoon to everyone. And CEO of Janjambure Area Council, Finance Director of Janjambure Area Council, and also Honorable Councillors Foon and the other one. Sawani, but you mentioned Cisse. I was happy when I heard you say the surname is Cisse. Definitely, I think now we have all discussed about this issue, and that was the aim and objective of this meeting. And the only thing I will advise is that, Foon, if you want to get maybe into the references of what happened in that meeting after apologizing, maybe it will drag us back. And we are saying we want to close all those dark books and open a new page for the betterment of the council, and also to assist us in the performance of our duties as the National Assembly Select Committee on Regional Government, Lands, Ombudsman, and IEC. So for that being the case, you've apologized to us, but I also want you to just let things go, and then we allow bygones be bygones, so that we can forge ahead as colleagues, as a country, and as people who want to see this country move forward. I always say that any development that comes into the country, whether it is in Janjambure, Basse, or Banjul, it is for the whole country. Because if you look at the Gambia, we are all related, and we cannot be always fighting. We are a developing nation, and the best thing we can do is to see how we can move and forge ahead as a nation. It was very, I mean, if we say, even if it is not from you, but it might be from your honorable colleague, and you would not want him to face the same trouble again, you know, to come all the way from Janjambure just to come and answer questions again, which would definitely move us back. So I think the best thing we can do now, hence you have humbly apologized to the honorable members and to our clerks, our support staff. I think it is better we just leave it at that stage so that we can move ahead. I definitely want to say a very big thank you to the CEO, the finance director, and yourself, Foon, and the honorable colleague for coming boldly up to here and then apologize. This is all what we needed. Definitely he made mention of that report. Obviously, whenever we go on an oversight visit or oversight functions, a report must be tabled before plenary to show what actually we have done. But it is also very important that we establish in certain reports some of the challenges that are faced by the council. And it's also important that we also capture some of the developments that you have done in your council. It was rather unfortunate we could not maybe capture most of those difficulties that were faced by yourself, by the council, due to the fracas that happened between us. And we could not also visit some of the sites, some of the developments that you have done in the area council, as we did in other council. And this is all because of this issue that we had there. I think before requesting for references, you rather write maybe to the select committee to come back to the council again maybe, and then see some of the achievements, some of the developments that you have done, and also you would have the opportunity to tell us again some of the challenges that you are facing as a council, rather than requesting for a reference which would open the same page again. I think this is the best thing we can do so as to help you in your activities and also to help us in our activities. Remember that we are representing also the councillors, not only that we are representing the people of the Gambia, but you are also part of the people of the Gambia. And by virtue of the fact that you are a honorable councillor, and you know, we have remits, we have certain things that are under our purview as the select committee. And it was good when we went to, what's the area council? Kuntaur. The councillors were telling us that, you know, whenever they retire or whenever their term ends, some of the difficulties they face is that, you know, they don't have they don't have this thing, gratuity, and they were talking of also salaries, that they are not paid salaries, they are paid allowance, and also mobility. These are some of the difficulties that we have already captured, and I believe a difficulty for them might be also a difficulty for you. So whenever we come to see you, you use it as an opportunity to tell us your difficulties. We understand it is difficult. Sometimes you can tell us all the difficulties. We have them written. We laid it, you know, before the plenary. But it is not all those difficulties that are solved. We can understand. Sometimes you aim at having all things done in the right way. But, you know, abnormal circumstances might also arise, which, you know, would not be under your control. So we also need to understand that sometimes you are a politician, and remember, whenever you visit some of these villages, you are faced with so many questions, you are faced with so many difficulties. We need boreholes, we need our roads constructed, we need our schools repaired, we need our hospital repaired. These are some of the things that you are faced with. But could you achieve all? That is not possible. So we as select committee also, we receive the same complaints from other area councils. But, you know, the only thing we can do is to come up with recommendations laid before plenary so as to help us also adopt that report, which would address some of the difficulties that you are facing with. When we adopted this report from the 5th legislature, and in that report it is said that, you know, in previous years councils were not receiving the subvention that they were supposed to receive from government, and which is making it very difficult for them to function as a council. But then with their support and with their help, they could at least, was it $200,000? $2 million with the support of the select committee. And these are some of the things that we can also do. I think it is very important that we note this. We are colleagues. We are partners in development. We cannot hate each other. We also face the same difficulties as you face. We are also politicians like you. But as honorable colleagues said, whenever we come there, we also have to know that we should set up our political differences aside, and we see the country, we see the Gambia. We know that you have this country at heart, and sometimes because of the pressure that you are faced with your own people, you might also want to transmit that to us. But, you know, with due respect, we will definitely want to cooperate and collaborate with you, and then see some of the loopholes, and we see how to fix them, inshallah. And we thank you very much for apologizing. Thank you, Honorable Colleagues.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sise. Do you have any other member who may wish to take the floor? Honorable Jete, do you have?
Thank you so much. The Honorable. We are here today in pursuance of an issue that happened No, it's off. Yeah. Okay.
Apology to be done in a manner that it will be done once and for all and we forget about everything. And before we leave this hall, this auditorium, we want us to shake hands and forget about everything and yearn for the development and the betterment of this country. As alluded by your CEO, who has been doing very well, and will definitely want you to work together with him. He cannot be successful alone. He needs support from you people, and he must be supported by the councillors. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to move on. He's doing his best. I can tell little about that council because I attended Amity Senior Secondary School in those days, whereby the council sometimes give fares to students, especially when school closed, for them to go home. So you can see that and many more developments that has been taking place. We definitely want you to join hand and support him. Give him maximum respect and support, so that tomorrow, if you happen to see yourself in the position, then you will also get people who will support you, and you will also get people who will also respect you as well. Can we please just have that done before we finally close for this session? Honorable Foon and
Thank you, Chair. I sincerely apologize for any wrongdoing. And to assure you, we have no problem with our CEO as far as the Nyambure Area Council is concerned. He got all this support from us. What happened in Janjambure between us and you is just unfortunate. That what has to happen must happen, right? So let me just say, stop there. It's okay. Thank you.
thank you very much. And see what can we do for this country. The former committee has been doing a lot. It just depends sometimes on what we want and the availability of resources at hand. But we'll continue pushing, and we want us to do it together, and we want to work as colleagues, we want to work as brothers and sisters, and see what can we do for this country. Honorable members and support staff of the Select Committee on Regional Government, Land, Ombudsman and IEC, the Honorable Chairperson of Janjambure Council, and also the councillors, we thank you very much for responding. This is part of respecting the constitution of the great land, that's the constitution of the country. And CO, we just want you to notify the assembly and inform us as soon as the vice chair is around. We definitely want to have a dialogue with him. It's not there is any hidden agenda, but we feel that it is important for us to have a dialogue, sit with him as we are doing today, so that everything can be finished and bygone will be bygone and we forge ahead. So on that note, we thank you very much for coming, and we pray and hope that this will be the last time and the last thing for us to have such things like this, especially from that council. So on that note, I thank you for coming. Rest. Motion for adjournment. Any seconder? The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Can we pray now? Yeah. Yeah. Can we pray, please? Exactly, it's very important. Can we pray, please, in our own ways?